Have you ever noticed that in the middle of a stressful moment, like a heated argument or just before giving a presentation, your brain seems to stop working the way that you want it to? Your heart races, your palms, ooh, they get sweaty, and suddenly you can't think straight. What's happening is that your limbic system, especially the part called the amygdala, has hijacked your brain. It is pumping out fear signals, telling your body, we're in danger. And part of your brain that usually helps you stay calm and rational, the prefrontal cortex, it goes temporarily offline. But here's the fascinating part. Evidence suggests that tapping, also known as emotional freedom techniques, helps restore balance. By tapping on specific acupressure points while focusing on the problem, you are able to re engage the prefrontal cortex, allowing you finally to think more clearly and regulate your emotions more effectively. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Jessica Ortner. I'm a New York Times bestselling author and co-creator of the Tapping Solution app. And welcome back to the Science of Tapping, the series where we take a deep look at how EFT works in the body and the brain. So today, we're diving into the prefrontal cortex and its role in emotional regulation, and what researchers are discovering about how tapping may switch this part of the brain back on. So let's start with the basics. What is the prefrontal cortex? Think of it like the CEO of your brain. It's the part right behind your forehead, and it plays a crucial role in decision making, planning, problem solving, self control. It's the reason you can pause before reacting. It's the reason you can consider the consequences of your actions and choose a healthier response. When everything is functioning smoothly, the prefrontal cortex acts like a wise parent, calming a frightened child. The amygdala might shout, we're under threat, help! And the prefrontal cortex replies, hang on there. Let's assess this. We're actually safe. We can handle this. But under high levels of stress, it all changes. When cortisol and adrenaline surge, blood flow shifts away from the prefrontal cortex towards a deeper survival circuits. That is why in stressful situations, you might say something that you regret, overreact, or suddenly feel paralyzed. Your rational brain has literally dimmed down. This is why so many traditional techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or cognitive reframing, they focus on finding ways to calm the body so the prefrontal cortex can come back online. And tapping seems to do this in a uniquely effective way. So, EFT or emotional freedom techniques involves tapping gently on acupressure points like your eyebrow, side of the eye, under your nose. You're tapping on these points while you're focusing on a particular issue. At first glance, yes, it might look a little odd, but researchers believe that the combination of gentle, rhythmic stimulation of the body on these points while focusing your attention sends this powerful safety signal through your nervous system. So here's the hypothesis. The tapping input travels through sensory pathways, influencing the vagus nerve and parasympathetic system, which then tells the amygdala, we're okay. At the same time, the act of voicing the problem aloud engages higher order processing in the brain. So the result? The amygdala begins to quiet down, and the prefrontal cortex, freed from being drowned out by this loud alarm system, it re-engages. And this isn't just speculation. Brain scans show that tapping calms overactive stress circuits while supporting the brain's self-control networks. Imagine the scenario. You're about to speak in public. Your amygdala, again, is screaming, danger! And you start tapping, acknowledging how you feel, even though I feel nervous right now. And within minutes, your breathing slows, your muscles relax, and most importantly, your thinking clears. That's the prefrontal cortex coming back online. Let's look more closely at what the data says. One of the most cited studies is a randomized control trial led by Dr. Peter Stapleton in 2019. So, participants who received a single EFT session had a 43% reduction in cortisol, the stress hormone, compared to a much smaller drop of 19% in the control group. Lower cortisol means less biochemical interference with the prefrontal cortex, making it easier for the executive functioning to resume. Other clinical trials on PTSD, anxiety, and depression have shown that after tapping, people not only report fewer symptoms, but they also show greater emotional regulation. EEG studies have found it increases brainwave coherence, particularly in alpha and theta ranges, which are linked to this executive function. In practical terms, that's a brain that's not overstimulated by fear signals, but is ready to engage clearly and rationally. And in case you're wondering if this is just placebo, multiple studies have used active control groups like supportive talk or relaxation and still found that the EFT process of tapping on these specific points, it creates a greater improvement. So the picture that's emerging is clear. Tapping appears to reduce stress responses at a biological level, which in turn allows the prefrontal cortex to do its job, regulating emotions and restoring balance. So, why does this matter? Emotional regulation is at the heart of mental health. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, they're all linked to problems with regulation. When the prefrontal cortex isn't able to calm the amygdala, emotions feel overwhelming, thoughts spiral, and the body stays stuck in this fight or flight. By helping to re engage the prefrontal cortex, EFT provides a fast track to regulation and recovery. It gives people a way to shift from chaos to clarity, from reactivity to choice. That's why therapists are increasingly incorporating this to complement their traditional approaches. So, looking ahead, the potential applications are really exciting. What if every classroom taught kids a quick tapping routine to reset before a test? What if hospitals offered tapping to patients before surgery to calm that pre-op anxiety? What if first responders had this tool to help regulate during a crisis? We're already seeing some of this in action, and the results are truly incredible. By directly supporting the prefrontal cortex's role, tapping might one day become part of the standard toolkit for stress and trauma care. And as more brain imaging and biomarker studies are conducted, we'll likely learn even more about the exact pathways and mechanisms involved. So, to wrap this up, the prefrontal cortex is our brain's regulator. Stress can shut it down, leaving us at the mercy of fear circuits. But tapping seems to switch it back on, restoring emotional balance and clear thinking. So if you found this fascinating, please subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Share this with a friend, comment, do all the things. I would so appreciate it. And if you want to experience this for yourself, check out the Tapping Solution app in the description below. You'll find guided sessions designed to calm stress and help you think more clearly, maybe even in the very moment that you need it most. Thank you so much for watching, and keep tapping into your brain's incredible ability to heal and regulate yourself. The power is at your fingertips.